Good morning.
Good morning.
Now to say,
I am Yadom. And I'm basically starting my analysis, from very, very unusual angle. And tying and come out in mainstream sports. Giddy, but a very, very important. You better train against so on Saturday, and you family did the rest of in common. And I mean, I'm social media, sir. And me koto sa video we former Arsenal right back Bakary Sagna na oye interview on CNN na Rich asama branch ene kano editie papa most of the time so me call me my first degree no me major in psychology. Me kai Professor Dankwa ene neba me clinical psychology any other. Enti unim say eto de bia. Enkofo bebre omo complaining ananse ase me ho dodo me. Nanse ase me tie me ya. But me no me dry enko. Nanse ase me feel fine. Rich. Bebre na enye medical. Enye mental. Sometimes when you are mentally stressed, your body reacts as if say you are having a medical problem. But adrenaline bread. And this part of the world make Africa quite rich. We are so vulnerable to stress.
Too much.
And you say over to my surround baby. Na uti oya when your headache. Over to my on parasa de enko. Ebiana within the week, Rich. A busia pressure be course be bills be na amount to cry pile. There are a lot of people who walk to hospitals to complain about medical. They owe me. And yet it has got nothing to do with medical and mental health. But in Pimpi, Rich, your mental health, because you're war-oriented woman, we don't seek mental health care. Now, my first record interview the kakra.
Say the trying to know how
the same thing I thought to do. I said, as I retire now, look very, very nice.
Bakary Sagna.
Say we 42 years. Rich, me say utie show now, ana ushe show na. Yentie sanya interview no kakra bi. Na asem na o kan it will touch your heart and ubenya a renewal of understanding of a new baby. Na me fan entumi fubi. Now you moving on, Rich.
I lost my brother when I joined to Arsenal in 2008. My brain was not here, my second season. So some of the players might come and be in the same mindset, might not have their head into football. In the bus, one space will be free. So I clearly advise them to speak up, first of all. Things I didn't do, but it had an impact on me, so I know how it feels. They might be, it's okay, we're fine, but they need to process. They need to process it, they need to open up about it, they need not to forget, because the mistake I did was to try and avoid talking about it. I was getting upset, but it was a mistake, because you have to let things out before you can even perform and let your football out. So no, we should not forget, we should always remind the player who was, first of all, and for the family also to always bring up his memory and as a team, maybe try to use this experience to get stronger and use it every single game. It's life. We're all gonna go one day. Unfortunately, some people go way more earlier. It's upsetting, very upsetting, because you have many questions, but you need to move on. It was like...
Dabena, I think I say he mentioned it in his analysis. Say, Diogo Jota won our wuro. ebe affect Liverpool players na for omo mutie no omo hye no asama baka saga kan ne tofa bomu nie o se o joining Arsenal no in 2008 ne second season ni yaketwa wuye na utie full interview na o se ni yaketwa ni free mu no o se baka saga na mo omu nchi free Africa enti ni mama ne papa na busuafo time omu de aye ni hye no omu ba Africa ba onu bo nti wantimi andi o machi amba but then you are you close to him pa na oko camp no na onu agasa hu say bibi hano then we went on to say onu ampa na obebo Arsenal the first season na ogidi say sa time no na o pewiase nyina omombo number 2 omuni mbo oka ho no after the performance no I started to perform na ni players ono mu eyo mu na omu ye ni teammate na omu nim se ni ya firi mu no se omu se otwodi bia no ma ba ne nchen na omu ni na be kasa no obi ma ne encourage sem na sa time no as a vendor ya dear pa because as a vendor e fa no ana de bia da na one ne kasa na rich o say sa time no ne kren ne say na ne body ewo Arsenal team nim eko training ball matches but na adwene any team nim
oni ni awu
yes
o said the be how
I say one day what one Arsenal psychologist no e ba ne nche no be ka che ne say me who say you are not of yourself na saying me observe you bibi how but only wagging say on me be che but after the me anka say metu anamu aba what is the problem Rich osi obie na no a otimi echira sem ni mu chire psychologist no any advice ni therapy as psychologist ni fair mu no e bua ne papa ama otimi move on Rich impempi on ye betie so o play papa free mu ye betie so o play we no ni mbo pa afi all of a sudden the performance ni nye ye betie say oh we ye koto na ba no nimbo ba oba club we ntimi ammo de bese be kanya ne say Rich any players nkoa ababu we ya yebu enuma bebre na hanko for Rich one day obi be aduma na ohra na ho fama na enkoyi a don't blame the person ebia na bibi ha no but senior Ekano, I will be an advocate with him today. Say, Rich, say bibi hawa, Toby, ne enenenka. The more you speak out of our problems, the more we seeking help with professionals, the more na we ebwao amu etimi ababak. And then I'm paying for say, oto yarea, and I unya anu draw. Nti wa wuti anyway I share no a lot of your problems are mental mengas wa bodam but a lot of your problems are mental problems abjenjin abusia pressure
consanta oni abreche for ni din koma tie basket or outside I say Ayala we are more vulnerable to stress abroad than home in Ghana.
Now,
because
because they just want someone to speak to. Because their stress levels now on.
Madam Baguka, the baba near 10 minutes. Bye bye. On once a baba na 10 minutes.
Is it basket me reference to your mental health awareness? No? I'm not saying stress no those watching more. But I wanted the at least companies or industrial psychologists, HR, exactly. More counseling services near there. We've neglected it. Mental health, I guess, any additional mumpo.
To Hana, sebi.
Your mom could call you. I go see and say, if you even know, say a Busaja engineer, why will you recommend she will go? Why not go? psychologist bɛn na ɔbɛka sɛ mama schedule meeting man ne nko kasa the best you can say enemy say no mo na fa call hospital but why would you say hospital are okay and say me ha mami enye medical you have a big problem wa ha and me di man no si no me sre ye teams na organ no bibia dey prefer say players and mental health and you mo performance na eko a lot of because Saga kan I say he was one of the best right backs in the world, but when he started having quiet moments in absent mind, on one say Okujina Park the performance bar never form. And see every obi team was such a sound who I want to say. You have crossing any problems in the door, so you play see. The girlfriend be a konyam, ne baba could be or ni baby mama baby pressure. Me more play anything. One of the coaches, no coach he has. Now, you were having a conversation, okay, say, Charlie, who's a quarrel with the ball, but I say, I know so, but do you know how I am managing him? And I'm say, Debbie, I say, player no, and on why you're born, born now. Na pressure or ban the man wa cry no. And to play need to be back training. Or when you are playing the general step no so baby how kwame. Or bako in chair no. I say oh we no pay me be ya akwane ma me frame pressure. I say oh P2 and see this akoye say. No money be. Or for the ma ne ma me na. The week no. The player will train nice and the weekend he will play super game. And see Rich, mental stress a problem. Mummy in a emperor once a monk.
Obi said that's play. Utie play interview na.
You could see
who say a shadow
swam. He didn't care. What I say?
Very important.
It's the same way it seems, you know. As we manage the players and the company, our mental state and in your mind how with our life and so you take it serious and we in your football and access sports it applies to you in our daily lives. You should be very, very conscious about your mental health. Now Rich and run a yes sorry show no so he said the Manchester United agree £71 million with Brentford on Brian Mbuemo. But I'm not paying me a different angle to the conversation. Rich. Mbuemo numbers now. Emma who say, look, Senka Otimia Kobo say ya or Manchester United there, then the guy will come good. Because Senna I Chechuno. Premier League season me, Rich, or share 20 goals. Say I will rank top goal scorers our fourth. Me expected assists. 9.26 first. Ne crosses attempts 202 first. Kilometers or cover 387.6 third. Ne sprint 870 third. Rich, these are good numbers, especially for Ruben Amorim. And the way Osimhen born. Oh, here workaholics, and this guy numbers in clean. But the angle I'm coming from, baby, I think say, Caneno, and now you decide come balance you jadi, but a big problem. Rich, come on, you know. No Manchester United is not so pano, and I say Alex Vegas and some make. No, I'm going for support Chelsea. Any other clubs? Almost some reason they say almost you. Now say what Essien or what Didier Drogba or what Mikel Obi or the point I'm trying to make and they say even people fell in love with Barcelona because they could relate with Samuel Eto'o. Any other. Now Rich, Africa, it became a big rumor, any debate. Since Alex Ferguson in African players as some. Yeah.
And then
and must say it was simply because Alex Ferguson say other African players now they will not be available to you some years I ever AFCON no, when you really needed them. Now, Rich, you add Mbuemo to Manchester United squad, no, and off head. I'm sure you are at the peak of the season during AFCON. You are going to lose honor in Mbuemo, no, number one. You will lose number one goalkeeper Andre Onana to also the Cameroon national team. And Rich, and you the Moroccan national team are hosting AFCON, no, will have Mazari and so team, and Abranti friend Ahmad will obviously be part of the Ivorian team Ebeba the AFCON, no. And I'm watching in a major and say, this current Manchester United team are Amorim in a building. Say Manchester, say you drew AFCON time. Now Manchester should lose Mbuemo, should lose Andre Onana, Omo lusu Ahmad. Na Omo elusi Mazwaria. Based on Amorim first season, ayahuno. Any ni team also share for this season, and so Manchester United at a hoping 71 million pounds. Akoto player, and so ya na ye no kre. The na first na ebimu ntiase say Alex Ferguson MP African players asem no. Rich, the reality is that it will huge impact. Minimum so adwene ho.
To be honest, I don't watch my adwene so. Because imagine ye bo season no. Na time I be here in Mbuemo and then Onana uluso omutu Cameroon because mo kwa AFCON.
Then Mazwari joins Morocco. Then Ahmad joins Ivory Coast.
Almost a key place.
Yes. I was thinking about it. How much way? And I'm saying, I told the beer you feel no am fair in our judgment. And people hate Alex Ferguson for that. But the reality is that, Rich, to lose these 4 players to a tournament in the middle of the season, about Manchester United. That was what I wanted to bring back. When they are buying these African players, they think about all these things. And at this time, Alex Ferguson any influence on Manchester United, so say the first now one day. But he will be worried when Otis say Manchester is adding another African player. And the worry in Rebecca say during AFCON, these things will come back to haunt team and Manchester United. And Mbuemo is so many medicals this weekend. And actually by Monday, Tuesday, Manchester United will make the official announcement say, Omanya Brantia, your friend Mbuemo, Ababe join you. Now, as I announce, no need mad wake, you know, Rich, supporters in a jar.
As I follow.
Yes. And I'll tell you how Omega. I must say, since the turn of the millennium, Arsenal offer direct Chelsea players, Maku 10.
Direct.
Shut down your success story, Biasa. David Luiz, Peter Cech, Willian. You go back to Kepa, Raheem Sterling, Jorginho. I was a man saying no more bar. And she then you be who be giddy. And they don't understand why. Say Chelsea, you're going to play away. I don't want to compare on the Arsenal. No fun in my na Omako Kofa. Rich, what do you say on internet? This one, you can do an online petition to a decision.
Yeah.
Change.com near day. What do you say? The Athletic Amaye in TSA, they wrote an article, and before they were writing the article, no, not change.com petitioner Arsenal fans media go to online. Said no need to sign in or money in John. Now Arsenal paying for some funding come back. No, they had over 500,000 signatories.
As a supporters knew
and they've said BBSC and the success story and I said the success rate, and it should be answer. But Rich, why do you think Mikel Arteta and Andre Beta will sign on him at Wiki? Almost look, almost reason is simple. This season here, Omato Kepa did 30 years. Omato Christian Norgard did 31 years. Omato Victor Jokeres will be 27 years. They think say players now Arsenal Eddie Omoba club anymore. For them to balance the age of the recruitment, they needed a young guy. Noni Madueke Eddie 23 years. Now any age no crown no problem. Issue they say they wanted a forward. As specifically or winger more. But probably right hand side, no one someone left hand side. And they are not just looking for BKK. Probably Premier League experience and rich almost have versatility, and they thought paying 48.7, which could rise to 52 million pounds for a 23-year-old Noni Madueke or Premier League experience, affected the player now more penal. And both Mikel Arteta and the Andre Beta say, Abantian is a good signing for them.
And you're not MFA.
Me Maka say, players here, Omu join here. The thinking of Arsenal this year is to build a very, very good squad. Me Maka say Arsenal and Kaka first 11 in Guardia, Rich, they have a better idea who their first 11 a year. But they want to build squad that is deep enough. Say, you go through the seasons, all the competitions level compete. You see, I can say your rotation. Yeah, maybe more resting, maybe more form, about form, maybe more prayer. Any son of manomana, they will get back up, sir. Or me, they will still keep the team consistently in terms of more competition, and no matter what. FT Arsenal, or more profile or more pay in the more air panel. Rich. Dolo Sports say one of the biggest transfer saga has come to an end. Abanti a friend of Victor Osimhen. Say the Entiasiaba. Now Rich, then say football contracts, any transfer contracts, are you interested? First of all, Rich, I am very, very surprised Galatasaray at your pulley of Osimhen. A deal no, because say Ushe Sika ye involved, which I can't mean say a Turkish club ebetia. But I am having a feeling say, Rich, Omushe Victor Osimhen, Oba Galatasaray, do obey my club no. The way I support a slipper and ask them now, Rich, Omujini say commercial value eventually, Edibe Brown, or Matthew Makano. Now, what is the details in here? She say almost deal now. 75 million na Napoli airpano. Galatasaray is on betia. Netia sembie. Napoli si sikano omum penny installments bebreo. And omum penny 10 timbia. By 2026 ending no. Now say within the next 2 years 75 no. I also Galatasaray for the more. Into Omajatum say Omubemo 40 million upfront. Not 35 for no so Omachia next year. And by the close of next year, no Omachia Sikana ye. Now Rich, in the contract, no policy. There is a clause in the contract say until 2027. Say 2027 Galatasaray can decide what they want. But Rich, until 2027. Galatasaray ain't mean to Victor Osimhen and any Italian Serie A team. They don't want Abanti back in the league to come and hunt them. And for the foreseeable future, no. Galatasaray you might so on Victor Osimhen. I'm an Italian Serie A team. Rich, almost say they will pay twice 75 million back to Tima, your friend in Napoli, and that is the dealer. Abanti Chelsea and top also on Saudi for Al Hilal and Abante Fene Victor Osimhen after the loan spell I was taking and Gidi say he still want to maintain the Turkish league na wakobo ewo rich medema no sikrano the mundo for keka about Luis Diaz no Barcelona for no omunya no Barca say they don't want to enter into a bidding war for Luis Diaz, number 1. Number 2, they will not pay Sika about 60 million for Luis Diaz. Na player ni new player. Player no 2 years. I want a contract so. Team na obono. Fofia and Tuata. I lose one of our forwards to accident. Wo te Spain. And I ɛsesa wo boɔ a wo de beto player no abra wo nim say this same player Bayern already pro any around 67 million akɔ ama Liverpool so mo nje team was Saudi Arabia aye very so betia 100 million and you can Liverpool even consider because eventually probably will not want to move to Saudi Arabia yet rich mundo front page they say Barcelona for say they will not pay in excess of 60 million and more so for Abanti friend Luis Diaz and that is their plan now maka any agent say obetimi convince Liverpool amo magia why am I ready so muntimi they want to move on to who Marcus Rashford rich football na yes the tier and a BB team see there but at the rate na no make the rich and share na Barcelona for oyenti
Monya no
omuntimi ento Abante friend Luis Diaz and unim the am sere wo ho omo di Abante ni age and eyi omo ho ano Abante no kwa onyini 28 29 there adenti na wose ye koto ne be 80 million
sabi o pama bo anu anya na wose na kankan
a good point though but rich obi anu say Luis Diaz anyini but ni bo na obo no ni bo eden. That is the fact. Untimintia, kasa untimintia na pe oba bitira. Rich and the 3 bet to Enura. The Spain former the year coach no. Rich. Monsieur Omonche game in 3 goals. And Spain will obviously we're going to win. Rich. 2 penalties in the game. Ni na umbo sen. 2 penalties. And we are among Kafra, Spain for man and a kumo, but already a baby bet no. 3 bet to a course. J na HNI NDB. First one a 2-1-8-9 8B 5-2 2-1-8-9 8B 5-2. Second one no also a 2-1-8-9 9F 83 2-1-8-9 9F 83 and the last one no also 2-1-8-9 B8 80 2-1-8-9 B880 2-1-8-9 9F83 2-1-8-9 8B52 3 bet to course na yefa ko pesca na yefa enjoy a weekend no want to reach after you bet me abefie na abedi komo
abefie